afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the special event, the 7th annual NNSCRA Royal Rumble, celebrating 7 years of the NNSCRA Sports Channel on YouTube. This has always been a favorite of drivers to come here to the Royal Rumble. It's a non-points event. Basically, all that's on the line is bragging rights. We have held 6 previous Royal Rumble events, and we have had 5 different winners in those 6 events. The only driver to have 2 Royal Rumble wins was Charles Jackson, winning Royal Rumble number 3 and following it up 1 year later with the 4th Royal Rumble on this channel. But we're getting ready for our 7th Royal Rumble. It is going to be 40 drivers here today, and now it's time to show you the rules on how this race is going to go down. So we are going to have the first 2 entries, the drivers that ended up drawing entries number 1 and 2 to start this out. They will drive around this Talladega Superspeedway, this edited Talladega Superspeedway, I should say, for 2 laps. At the completion of those 2 laps, they will be joined by the driver that drew entry number 3. We will continue this on every 2 laps, adding a new entry until all 40 of our entrants have entered into this race. When entry number 40 comes in, we will run the final 2 laps. Whoever has survived at the end of those 2 laps will battle it out in a 10-lap shootout, and whoever crosses the start-finish line first when the checker flag waves at the end of that 10-lap shootout will be declared the winner of the 7th annual Royal Rumble event here in the NNSCRA. Now, during the course of these laps, though, the thing that these drivers will be focusing on is elimination. The way that you eliminate your opponent is to have them cross over the yellow line, or in the case of on the front straightaway, cross over the, I believe it's a double yellow line. If all 4 tires cross over there, then that car and that driver are eliminated. But some drivers could run the risk of eliminating themselves as well as their opponents, so they're going to have to be very careful about that. Now, the difference between this Talladega in regards to our previous Royal Rumbles, the previous Royal Rumbles, there were no walls on the Talladega, so you could eliminate drivers on the inside of the track, or you could eliminate drivers sending them to the outside of the racetrack. The difference here at the Talladega that we're at now is there actually is a wall on the outside line. So that outside wall could be a saving grace for certain drivers if they can keep their cars from sliding down the racetrack past the yellow line on the inside portion of the track. But without further ado, it's time to find out who drew entries number 1 and 2 and get the 7th annual NNSCRA Royal Rumble underway. And here we go, getting set. Entries number 1 and 2. Entry number 1, you look right there, the number 62 of Jake Smith, and entry number 2, the number 96 of Ace Garcia. These 2 drivers going to, I think, probably just ride around here for 2 laps. That would at least be a very smart strategy on their part for them to be able to continue to survive. But I look at the statistics of the last Royal Rumbles that we've run here, the last 6 Royal Rumbles. Now, we have only run 3 Royal Rumbles where there have been 40 participants. Those were Royal Rumble 1, 2, and 3. Of those 3 events, the eventual winners came in at entries number 37, 39, and 40. And you look even further at the last 3 Royal Rumbles, Royal Rumble 4, we had 75 entrants. It was number 75 that won that event. We had 50 entrants in the 5th Royal Rumble, entry number 49 taking that one. And last season we had 80, the largest Royal Rumble that we have ever had, and it was entry number 80 who took that win. So my condolences to anybody here in this Royal Rumble that comes in at any entry 36 or earlier, because the odds and the statistics of this race are not with you in winning this event. So we'll have to see if anybody's going to be able to survive. Certainly a lot of the pressure going to be on these 2 drivers that came in entries 1 and 2, Smith and Garcia. You see right there, Garcia getting very close to the left rear quarter panel of the 62 of Jake Smith. That's going to be the bread and butter for a lot of drivers that are going to be anxious to try and eliminate their opponents. That left rear quarter panel, you can hook the driver down towards that double yellow line and maybe eliminate them, but they'll survive at least for the next round. And coming in at entry number 3, it's going to be the number 48 car, and that is Isaac Nichols. Now, of course, a number of these drivers we recognize from series that are currently running here on this channel. Patrick Smith running in the Tax Slayer Truck Series, as is Isaac Nichols and Ace Garcia. So these guys know each other very well. They've raced each other before in another series, so We'll see how anxious they're going to be to try and eliminate each other here. Of course, no championship on the line in this event since it's a non-points race. It's basically just a bragging rights race, but certainly based off of looking back at the prior history of this event and the number of views that these particular Royal Rumbles get, apparently it's a fan favorite here on this channel. It's going to be interesting to see here too. I mean, obviously, as we say, it's a non-points event. Basically, it's every man for himself. We're going to have drivers coming in here with cars that are in other series teammates to each other. I mean, obviously, the 48 out of Hendrick Motorsports and other series and whatnot. I mean, what's going to happen if we end up having 2 Hendrick-related cars or 2 RCR cars or 2 Joe Gibbs cars on track? Will they be willing to work together against the rest of the field? My guess is probably not, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see if there's any alliances that'll start to sprout up, but I think I definitely can assume, I mean, I could be wrong, but I would assume that, you know, it's going to take us a little bit of time before we're going to start to see drivers get anxious for eliminations. Only 3 cars on track here. We're going to have to wait till it's about maybe 6, 7, 8 cars to get on track, and then with a bigger pack, you'll start to see drivers start to make moves for eliminations. So at this point, it may seem a little bit boring as we end up running 2 laps and it's basically single file like it is here, but keep in mind, like I said, the statistics are not in favor of these drivers that come into this race early on, so they're going to want to try to do everything they can to survive as long as they can here in this Royal Rumble event, as these 3 will make it into the next round. That'll bring in entry number 4. That's going to be Michael Norman in the 3 car, that number 3 Dow Chevrolet out of Richard Childress Racing. Like I stated, we have had 5 previous winners of the Royal Rumble. The most recent last year was John Arndt. I believe we've run, oh goodness, I think we've run 6 different mods here as well. I remember last season we ended up running the, I think it was BR13. I remember that we ended up running at one point the GTP mod, which is the mod that basically IMSA runs. That was a crazy race, as I recall. I mean, we've run a ton of different types of mods here. And like I stated here, this is the first time in Royal Rumble history that we're running at a Talladega that has a wall there on that outside line. But you'll notice that it's got black pavement, it's got the yellow wall, yellow stripe, the black and yellow colors of the NNSCRA. So a little bit of a special look here to this track. But that outside wall could play a huge factor into who's going to get eliminated and who isn't. 3 wide here for the lead. Now, one thing I should mention, too, is that these drivers, they're racing like this for what would theoretically be the lead if this were a points-paying race, but where they finish each segment does not necessarily mean that's where they're going to start the next segment. As where we're going to go 4 wide. Oh, my goodness. Hey! Jake Smith looking down there low. He got close to the left rear quarter panel of Nichols, and I thought maybe he was going to try and eliminate the 48, but nope, not going to do that. And looks like these 4, as Michael Norman goes to the inside there, thought about going 4 wide to the line, trying to give these fans a little bit of excitement early on, but looks like these 4 will make it into at least the next round. It's time to bring in entry number 5, and that's going to be the number 86, the iRacing Chevy Camaro of Matt Dalio. So up to this point, drivers that came in entries 1 and 2 have at least survived 3 rounds, and obviously would like to make it even further. Now we're starting to get more drivers on track, 5 in total now, so this might be around the time when drivers are going to be a little bit more bunched up, a little bit more congested, more opportunity to eliminate people, that we'll start to see them try to get real close to the left rear quarter panels of their opponents. Like for the moment, though, they're going to mind their P's and Q's as they'll come down here and get the white flag. Got Ace Garcia fading back there. Whoa, Michael Norman with a move there. I know it's very early on in this race, but let's just speculate that these drivers are going to be able to make it. Oh, no, there they go! Garcia up into the wall, Nichols into the wall. Now, if they cross below that double yellow line, they're out, and both of them did. They both slid. I'm not certain about Matt Dalio in the 86, though. Did he end up going below the double yellow line. We're going to use the NNSCRA split cam to determine that. We know for certain that entry number 1, Garcia, entry number 3, Isaac Nichols, they are out. And let's see if entry 5, Matt Dallio, yep, right there you see he went down all 4 tires below the double yellow line. So while he did manage to eliminate 2 opponents, he in turn also eliminated himself. And top of your screen, you see Michael Norman, Jake Smith cross the line. They are the only 2 drivers to survive up to round number 6. That'll bring in our 6th entry, the number 32 of John Arndt, who, by the way, is the defending winner of this event. So obviously the draw was not in favor of John Arndt as he tries to tie Charles Jackson as a 2-time Royal Rumble winner. He's going to have to try and survive to entry 40 from entry number 6. I remember last time out when John Arndt won the 6th Royal Rumble, it was in the number 90 Exide Toyota Camry. And as we said, he ended up doing it from entry number 40. Or actually, no, it was actually from entry number 80. Last time out was an 80 driver Royal Rumble. Want to remind you guys that this is just one of several events that are taking place here today, April 2nd, 2018, the 7-year anniversary of the NNSCRA Sports Channel on YouTube. Not the anniversary of me being on YouTube. I ended up starting out with a stop-motion channel, the Batcave Club channel, but this channel has definitely been the one that took off, and 7 years, can't believe it. April 2nd, 2011, where it all began. But you're also going to be treated to some other special things that are going on here today, including the 13th annual Snickers Cup Series Daytona 500. I'm not 100% certain what the arrangement of the order of the events are going to be that I put them up. It may end up have already aired. It may be airing later on here today, but a lot of exciting stuff going on here today with this special anniversary day. Well, John Arndt is... Oh, goodness gracious sakes alive. That was close. Michael Norman into Jake Smith into John Arndt, but they all survive, and now comes in entry number 7. It'll be Nathan Hudson, the number 6 Advocare Ford Fusion, the entry out of Roush Fenway Racing. You look at this here, and it's kind of ironic. You got Nathan Hudson, Michael Norman lined up there on that inside line. They are former teammates from the Hershey's Cup Series back when Hudson drove the 16 for Michael Norman Motorsports. Norman was in the 3 car at the time. We've also got a split of manufacturers here too. 2 Fords with Hudson and Arndt, 2 Chevys with Smith and Norman. A lot of times we, in the Royal Rumble event, focus on the driver that does the best in surviving, and right now that would be Jake Smith. Came in entry number 1, and so far he's been able to survive 6 completion rounds, and if he can survive this one, he'll have completed 7. But like I've stated early on, the odds are not in favor of pretty much anybody you're seeing right here making it into that final 10-lap shootout. I'm trying to remember just exactly what the most drivers we had in the final shootout was, and if I recall correctly, it was something like 6 or 7 drivers, and I think that was back in Season 1. Royal Rumble finale as well, the final segment, is not without a lot of drama and a lot of excitement. Remember back to the very first Royal Rumble, it was Aaron Williams and Dylan Poteet in a photo finish coming to the stripe. And Aaron Williams was able to take the first Royal Rumble event. If I recall correctly, Aaron Williams at the time was in the 78 and Dylan Poteet was in the 56. It's like they'll survive a round though, these 4, and that brings in entry number 8, the number 95 of Alex Tanker, who's actually making his return back to the channel. Been a long time since we've seen Alex Tanker. I'm trying to recall the last time we actually did see Alex Tanker on track in an NNSCRA sanctioned event. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think you gotta go all the way back to the Snickers Cup Series. I don't think, at least not to my knowledge, that Tanker has made a start in Taxi Truck Series, Pizza X Series, or Hershey's Cup Series action. Take a look here at this mod that we're running too. The Monster Energy Cup Series 18 mod gives you a little bit of a preview of what the Hershey's Cup Series Season 7 cars are going to look like on track, as the announcement made that Hershey's Cup Series will be going to that mod next year. A lot of preview cars have been painted for next season and are up on the NNSCRA's official website, the offline website. A lot of those rides have some question marks, though, as we're not yet done with Season 6, and there could be some drivers that could find themselves in a bit of a predicament charter-wise heading into next year. But regardless, still preparing for it, just in case they end up getting into the next season with a charter. A lot of previews there that you can check out. Now, I believe we ended up having 6 cars, on track when the first eliminations began. If you just joined us, already 3 drivers have been eliminated from the Royal Rumble. Entry number 2, Ace Garcia. Entry number 5, Matthew Dalio. And entry number 3, Isaac Nichols. And it looks like we are going to have 6 drivers on track here this time. It's going to be the 18 of former Hershey's Cup Series champion Matt Haas coming in at entry number 9. So the last time that we had 6 cars on track, we had half of the field eliminated. Now we're going to have to see what happens with 6 cars on track again this time. And actually, no, I am incorrect. It was actually 5 cars that were on track when we had our first eliminations. So we were actually able to get past the 5-car barrier this time, and now we've got 6 cars on track. And something tells me that they're not going to mind their P's and Q's. Matt Haas, the second Toyota entry on track here. The first one was Ace Garcia's 96. Look back there, you've got potential contact between Michael Norman and Alex Tanker. They almost got hooked together and down into that inside line, as we're going to go 3 wide up here at the front. Nathan Hudson, Jake Smith, and Matt Haas 4 wide. Look at John Arndt down the inside line. 5 wide, Norman up the middle. Oh, there they go. John Arndt, I think, saved himself. Norman is out. And I think Tanker was saved by the wall as well. But I believe Michael Norman is out. Let's see if anybody else was eliminated here. We got to watch carefully on our split cam. I know Norman for certain was out. Tanker keeps it up there in the outside retaining wall, didn't drift down, and look at the 32 of John Arndt there on the bottom left. I don't think he went down below the double yellow line either, so it looks like Michael Norman, after all that, a 5-wide situation there going into turn 1. I think he's the only driver that is going to be eliminated, at least from the Royal Rumble at this point. Norman came in at entry number, I believe it was entry number 6. No, I'm sorry, it was not. It was entry number 4. So now as we get set for another 6-car pack, Michael Norman out. In is the 17 Sunny D Ford at entry number 10, Dallas McIntosh. And now, going to be the interesting thing about possibly, and I say this in air quotes, teammates working together. The 6 and the 17 are both out of Roush Fenway Racing. Nathan Hudson and Dallas McIntosh, will they work together against everybody else? Got 3 Fords, 2 Chevys, 1 Toyota. Matt Haas, the lone Toyota. Oh, and there goes John Arndt, the defending winner of the Royal Rumble, eliminated by Dallas McIntosh. And now he's going to get his money worth and try and eliminate others. Collects the 18 of Matt Haas. And keep in mind, if these drivers come to pit road, they're going to cross over that double yellow line, and that eliminates them from the Royal Rumble. Is the 18 going to cross the line and come to pit road? Yes, he is. Matt Haas is eliminated now. I believe the 17 of McIntosh, I don't know if he crossed over the double yellow line when he eliminated John Arndt or not. I think he did. So I believe he's also out. So McIntosh did not last a long time in this Royal Rumble, but a little feather in his cap as he eliminates the former winner, the defending winner of this event, John Arndt. The odds were not in favor of him coming in entry number 6. And he will not defend his title as a Royal Rumble winner, and he will not join Charles Jackson as a 2-time winner of the Royal Rumble event either. So it looks like we're going to have 3 cars that will make it to the next round. Smith, who came in entry number 1, still hanging in there tough, along with Hudson and Tanker, as McIntosh, Matt Haas, and John Arndt make their exit from the Royal Rumble, and that's going to bring in entry number 11, the number 20 of William Brock. So 1 Toyota from Joe Gibbs Racing eliminated. Matt Haas bringing another Toyota from JGR in William Brock. So with entry number 11 on track here, only 4 drivers currently on track. We've had 7 eliminations up to this point. The most eliminations so far, 3, and that was Matthew Dalio, eliminating Ace Garcia, Isaac Nichols, and himself. I believe up to that point, all the other drivers have eliminations. They've only eliminated 1 driver. Dallas McIntosh eliminated John Arndt. Well, actually, I guess you could say he had 2 because he eliminated himself. But John Arndt eliminated Matt Haas. And I'm not certain who they're crediting the elimination to Michael Norman to. I think probably it would be credited to Michael Norman. I think Michael Norman might get credit for eliminating himself, but I'm not really 100% certain because it was a 5-wide situation. It really all just comes down to who started the contact, and I don't really remember who it was. It was a 5-wide situation. How are you going to figure out who's to blame for that one? So 4 cars on track here, so again, more than likely it's going to take them building up the field before we start to see eliminations. As soon as I say that, though, Jake Smith took a little look to the left rear quarter panel of Alex Tanker. And you got to give a shout out here to Jake Smith. To be honest, very often the first 2 drivers that draw entries 1 and 2 end up getting eliminated very early on. And it looks like Jake Smith is going to survive at least 12 rounds here. So big time credit to him, as the next entry is going to be the number 37, another former winner of the Royal Rumble, Daniel Voiles, in at entry number 12. Daniel Voiles won this event in the 5th Royal Rumble event. That was a 50-car Royal Rumble. Daniel Voiles coming into that Royal Rumble at entry number 49. So much like John Arndt, who was a former Royal Rumble winner, Daniel Voiles has got a lot of work to do here in that JTG Daughtery Chevy Camaro. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that John Arndt and Daniel Voiles were the only 2 former Royal Rumble event winners to enter into this season's Royal Rumble. So if Daniel Voiles cannot survive to that final 10-lap segment, we are guaranteed a brand new Royal Rumble winner here on the channel. Aaron Williams, Charles Jackson, and Chris Jones, all former winners, are not in this field. I don't recall what number Charles Jackson was in when we ran the GTP mod here, and I'm not right off the top of my head remembering what car he drove when he won the 3rd Royal Rumble. Like I said, I remember the number 78 was what Aaron Williams drove when he won the 1st Royal Rumble, and Chris Jones, when he won the 2nd Royal Rumble, was driving the number 26, the Crown Royal Ford. I believe it was a Ford Fusion. Pretty sure we ran the BR13 mod that year. Might have been BR11, actually. As now we get set for our next entry, and it's going to be the number 88 Nationwide Chevrolet coming in at entry number 13, and that is Yin Canario. Yin Canario, who in the Pizza Hut X Series this season has a win at the Super Speedway of Daytona. This isn't Daytona, and this isn't the Pizza Hut X Series, though, so let's see what Yin Canario is going to be able to do here. I believe this is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first Hendrick car to come on track here. Nope, I'm wrong. Second. The first one was Isaac Nichols. And now with 6 cars on track, keep an eye on drivers getting close to each other's left rear quarter panels. They may start to get anxious to make some eliminations, and right there was a prime opportunity as you had them 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Oh no, are they going to try 4 wide, 5 wide again? Saw what happened, they were 5 wide last time. Surprisingly, we only had one elimination as a result, but looks like, well, I was going to say, looks like they're giving room, but here comes Nathan Hudson, making it 4 wide on the bottom. And watch out for the 62 of Jake Smith, the 37 of Daniel Voiles. They're the guys that are behind all this, and this could be their opportunity to get up there to someone's left rear corner panel, hook them around, and eliminate them. Hudson in the safest spot right now, out in front. Oh, 62 might have an opportunity at the 95, instead rides square behind him. Canario kind of looked closely to the left rear quarter panel of William Brock, but amazingly enough, these 6 are going to make it down, and they will, well, I was going to say survive, but Jake Smith looked like he wanted to do something there in the trial. Well, they'll survive and make it to the next round. That'll bring in our 14th entrant, and it'll be the second JTG Daughtery car, the 47, and it's a debuting driver, Igor Barreto, at entry number 14, making his debut here on the NNSCRA Sports Channel here in the NNSCRA Royal Rumble. And again, we'll get an opportunity to see if teammates do work together. Oh no, there goes Nathan Hudson. I believe both the JTG Daughtery cars were eliminated, Voiles and Barreto. Tanker is out, but look at the 88. Look at the 88 of Canario. I think he's okay. I think he did not cross the yellow line, and I'm also curious about the 62 of Jake Smith. I think he might have crossed over the line. And that leaves only one car here, and that's the 20 of William Brock, but I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe that the 88 did not cross the yellow line. Let's look here. We're going to follow the 88. There you see the contact. Hudson is out there. Voiles is out there. Right there, Barreto is out. Now watch the 62, the 95, and the 88. Those are the 3 we don't know if they're eliminated or not. I'm pretty sure the 95 went down below the double yellow line, which I think we'll see here in a moment. But what about Canario and Smith? 62 sliding down there. There's where Tanker is out, and right there, all 4 tires are below the double yellow line for Jake Smith. But you notice right there, the 88 of Canario never went down towards that double yellow line, so he is still in. So is William Brock, and with the elimination of Daniel Voiles, that means we are now guaranteed a brand new winner of the Royal Rumble. So as Brock comes to the checkered flag, Canario, I think, is still continued. Yep, if he had come to pit road, he would have crossed the double yellow line and eliminated himself, but looks like he's going to make it. Jake Smith, what a performance for him, though. Came in entry number 1, but this is where he's going to make his exit. He survived 14 rounds. That's quite a statement right there for Jake Smith, but tough break. He's going to be out of this, and now brings in entry number 15, the 14 car of Nathan Stapleton. Now, Stapleton is having a great year in the TaxSlayer Truck Series. He's leading the point standings and everything, but we're going to have to see what he does here in a Royal Rumble event with the pressure on the line and no points on the line either. William Brock, probably a very lucky boy with the fact that he was ahead of all that wrecking that took place there on that last segment. And we are now 15 entries in, with 12 drivers eliminated, 3 surviving, that we are not even yet halfway through this Royal Rumble field. So it is still going to be quite a task for the drivers you see here on your screen to even make it into the final 10-lap segment. Toyota, Chevy, and Ford here for these 3 drivers. And again, like we've been seeing here, the trend that usually happens here in the Royal Rumble, it's going to take them a little bit of time again. It's probably going to take till they get to about maybe 5, 6, 7 drivers on track before we start to see the eliminations again. A couple of factors for the reasoning of that. Number 1, when you have more cars on track, it's easier to be able to get the draft, be able to get the suck up where you can get to the left rear quarter panel for an elimination. Secondly, with more cars on track, it's a lot more congested, so you're fighting for the same real estate, and that's where a lot of the eliminations occur. When you've got only like 2 or 3 cars on track, it's a little easier to be able to give more room. And these three will make it on to the next round, bringing in entry number 16. It'll be the number 1 of Blaine Keys. Blaine Keys at entry number 16. He is the, I believe, first of the 2 Ganassi cars that are in this Royal Rumble. And I'm expecting much of the same of what we saw in the last round, where these drivers will probably mind their P's and Q's and try and survive into the next one. But now, knowing that the 2 former Royal Rumble winners are out of this event, John Arndt and Daniel Voiles, now the big question is for these guys, I mean, how anxious are they going to be here to try and eliminate more of their competition, knowing there's going to be a brand new winner of the Royal Rumble event. Now, I mentioned before that the 78 has won the Royal Rumble with Aaron Williams, the 26 has won the Royal Rumble with Chris Jones. I'm trying to remember what number Daniel Voiles won in, and it's not coming to mind for me. And John Arndt was in the 90. There is no 90 in this field, but there is a 78 and there is a 26. And to my recollection, I don't think we've ever had a number win the Royal Rumble twice. I can actually check that out and find out the answer to that question as far as what numbers Charles Jackson and Daniel Voiles were both in. And I will probably do that in just a few minutes. But these 4, they'll survive to the next round. We'll bring in entry number 17. And that is going to be the number 24 car of Seth Cole. Getting closer and closer to completing the first half of this Royal Rumble field. And then after that, there's still 20 more cars that need to get on track. Seth Cole, the 3rd Hendrick Motorsports entry to get on track here. Teammate Ying Canario, and I say teammate in air quotes again, still on track. The other air quotes teammate was the 48 of Isaac Nichols. Trouble! Oh, they saved it! William Brock trying to eliminate Ying Canario, and there you see that we have that outside wall here this year. And that just saved both the 88 and the 20. If this had been any other year where we were at the no walls version, both those cars would have probably been eliminated from this race. So that outside wall being a terrific X factor in this race already. Both those cars, the 88 and the 20, pancake their right sides, but as long as they don't come to pit road, crossing the double yellow line and eliminating themselves, they will survive to the next round, and that's going to probably make it more of a likelihood that these 5 will make it too, because it made it a pack of 3 and then those 2 stragglers back there. But boy, that was a close call. That was definitely a close call. Last times that we've run here, there's been no wall there on the outside line, and no doubt the 88 and the 20 would have gone flying off and not made it in the next round. And now we're going to get 6 cars in a pack here, as we'll be bringing in entry number 18. Brock and Canario will come to the start-finish line, so they'll survive to the next round despite that contact that both of them made. Coming in number 18 is going to be the number 19 of Carson Gum. Carson is going to be, I believe, the 2nd Joe Gibbs Racing entry. No, 3rd, I'm sorry, because William Brock in the 20 is there, and their other, the other car, the 11 of, I'm sorry, the 18, rather, of Matt Haas was eliminated earlier on, and boy, Carson Gum looked like he wanted to eliminate Nathan Stapleton right there in 1 and 2. Right all over that left rear quarter panel. We've got 6 cars on track. This is about the time we start to see drivers anxious to try and get eliminations. Boy, Carson Gum is all over that left rear. Oh, he's going to hook him here in 3 and 4, I think. Stapleton got a hold of pretty wheel. Ooh, I don't know if he got hooked a little bit there or not. It looked like he got a little lower down in the exit of turn 4, but held on to it though. 4 wide here. This is a dangerous area. Brock, Canario, Cole, and Stapleton. And look at Carson Gum down right there behind fellow Toyota William Brock. Blaine Keys enjoying the view right now. It's all going on behind him. And I don't think he'd care if any of these guys eliminated themselves. That's one less person he'd have to worry about in the upcoming rounds. They settle it back out to double wide, though, so it looks like all 6 of these drivers might make it. Oh, as soon as I say that, Stapleton into the left rear quarter panel of Carson Gum. Both cars got 2 tires down the double yellow line, but neither one went completely below. So both of them, at least, they're okay for the moment, and they will make it back to the line. But a couple of hair-raising moments there in this segment. And now we add another log to the fire, if you will. Coming in at entry number 20 is going to be the number 10 Smithfield Ford Fusion out of Stewart Haas Racing, Zachary Fitzwater. And we have now... Oh, no, we haven't. I'm sorry. The next entry, we will have made it halfway through this Royal Rumble field. You almost get the sense that someone's going to get eliminated here in this round because of what we saw in the last round. There probably should have been 2-3 different eliminations that last segment, and there weren't. And these drivers now, you got to think that they're going to be even more aggressive. Whoa! Speaking of aggressive, look at Carson Gum turn that wheel hard to the left, down to that inside line. Ooh, look at Blaine Keys blocking the 20 as he's going to slot in line there. Ooh, Seth Cole close to the left rear quarter panel of William Brock. Fitzwater was close to the left rear of Ying Canario. Is there any way these drivers can make it back to the start-finish line here in the checkered flag without getting eliminated? Look at how the one was literally right up into the gearbox of the 19, crossing the start-finish line. Literally was shoving Carson Gum across the stripe. And this is a big opportunity for elimination right here. Double 3-wide formation. Let's see what kind of formation they end up having coming down here to 3. There they go! Brock's eliminated. But what about these guys? Fitzwater, Stapleton, they save it, and Ying Canario again manages to keep his car above the double yellow line, but William Brock in the 20, he is out. How did we have only one driver eliminated after all that? But what about these guys, the 14, the 10, and the 88? Are they going to come back to the start-finish line, or are they going to come to pit road? If they come back to the start-finish line, they survive for the next round, and looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. Stapleton stayed out, Fitzwater stayed out, and what about the 88 of Canario? I believe he also stayed out, so after all that, amazingly only one driver out, and that was William Brock. As in comes our 20th entry. We are now halfway through our Royal Rumble field, and it's the number 34 of Trey Wright. Now, I may be wrong. I may be wrong about Wright, but I think I remember Trey Wright being in a previous NNSCRA event. I just can't pull in what it was. Maybe not. This may be his debut on the channel, but I'm not 100% certain about that, so don't quote me. So William Brock, who came in at entry number 11, managed to survive 8 rounds before he got eliminated. We mentioned that Jake Smith managed to survive 12 rounds before his departure from the Royal Rumble. Now, right now, on track, the earliest entry in this field currently would be that 88 of Ying Canario, who came in at entry number 13. So far, he is on a 7-round streak of surviving. Like these drivers giving some pretty good room here. Oh, and as soon as I say that, there goes Carson Gum. And he got eliminated by Zachary Fitzwater, who I believe also eliminated himself. Now Carson Gum trying to get a little bit of payback there on the 10. Now, we saw this before when John Art got eliminated. Even though he was eliminated, you still are allowed to try and eliminate other drivers in the field. And Carson Gum, I think, was thinking about doing just that as he kept his foot in the throttle on that inside apron heading into 3. But at this point, the 19 and the 10 are eliminated, and that's all there's going to be for this round. So Carson Gum and Zachary Fitzwater make a departure. In comes entry number 21, the number 38 of Jonathan Wong. Now, I know that Jonathan Wong is driving over, I think it's in the Domino's NXT series that Levi McIntyre is running. But this, I believe, is the first time, at least on this channel, that Jonathan Wong is taking part in an event, but it is not his first start in an NNSCRA sanctioned event. And we've got 2 cars here from Front Row Motorsports in this group, the 34 of Trey Wright and the 38 of Jonathan Wong. They came in back-to-back entries 20 and 21. Oh boy, they're looking awfully sketchy right here. Ooh boy, Trey Wright was all over the back bumper of Stapleton. Canario was all over the back bumper of Wright. Blaine Keys has been the lucky guy right now. Most of these segments, he's been starting out in front and been able to keep most of this mayhem behind him. Now he's going to have to deal with Seth Cole, who gets to his inside. Got a pretty good representation of Fords right now. You've got the 34, the 38, and the 14 in this group. But still a long ways to go. Jonathan Wong was entry number 21, which means 19 drivers are yet to enter into this field. And I'm certain a lot of eliminations still to come. Boy, Trey Wright all over the left rear corner panel of Blaine Keys there. I thought there might be an elimination. Ooh, I don't know if there was contact there between the 88 and the 38, but Jonathan Wong almost went down towards that double yellow line. But looks like these 6 will survive. Bring in entry number 22. And that entry is going to be... Don't leave me hanging. Let's find out who it is. I guess we're not going to find out yet. Come on, camera people, let's go. There we go. Entry number 22 is going to be the number 9 of Nathan Lukac. And Nathan Lukac is a driver that is making his debut here on the channel. And here in this Royal Rumble event, that number 9 out of Hendrick Motorsports. So we've got actually 3 Hendrick cars in this group right now, the 9, 88, and 24. And I believe we still have at least one more Hendrick car that will be coming on track. Boy, Blaine Keys looked a little squirrely there in the middle. Jonathan Wong to his outside, and Nathan Lukac to the inside of him. They'll settle it out to double wide coming off turn number 4. Is it possible we can end up having 7 cars survive to the next round? Usually 6 is a possibility, 7 is usually no chance. And as soon as I say that, you can see right there, Jonathan Wong was right into the back bumper of the 14 of Stapleton. Canario was into the back bumper of Jonathan Wong, and oh boy, Blaine Keys looking very close to that left rear quarter panel of Trey Wright's 34. All depends on the formation they get into coming down here into 3 as to whether they're going to survive back to the stripe or not, I think. A lot of blocking going on right there. Trey Wright blocking 3 different lanes. Looks like they're giving each other enough room, though. They might be able to make it back to the start-finish line, and yes, they will. So I think we may end up having our biggest field in a segment of 8 cars here if they make it back to the start-finish line. And they will do so. So being added to the biggest pack we've had today of 8 cars is going to be entry number 23. That's going to be the 13 Geico Chevrolet Camaro of Benny Watson out of Germain Racing. Benny Watson, a former Pizza Hut X Series champion. I believe this is his first participation in the Royal Rumble, and it's very quickly going to come to an end as he got into the one of Blaine Keys, and Keys going to get his money's worth. Oh my goodness, there we go. Canario is eliminated. Nathan Lukac's eliminated. I think Trey Wright is out. And there is Blaine Keys. He's going to, I believe, eliminate at least 4, maybe 5 drivers. Benny Watson, I'm pretty certain, is out in the 13. I think he went down below the yellow line. I think the only 2 survivors now are going to be Seth Cole and Jonathan Wong moving on to the next round. Yin Canario, unfortunately, 3rd time was not the charm. He had 2 tremendous saves after spinning out, did not go below the double yellow line. This time he did, so Canario, who came in at entry number 13, looks like he will have survived 10 rounds in total, and now is going to be eliminated out of this event. So now that means that heading into the next round, the longest surviving person as far as the earliest entry would be Seth Cole, coming in at entry number 17. And this will be his 6th round that he will survive, if he survives the question. Benny Watson, the 13's eliminated. He could very easily eliminate Jonathan Wong and Seth Cole. Now, we didn't cover this in the rules, but if we end up having where everybody in the segment gets eliminated, then we go to the next 2 entries. So let's say that Benny Watson eliminates Seth Cole and Jonathan Wong. We would then go to entries 24 and 25 to come out on track, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Jonathan Wong and Seth Cole will survive, and it'll bring in entry number 24, the number 2 Miller Lite Ford out of Penske Racing, and that will be Johnny Gardner. So only 3 drivers survive as we are getting close to the 3/4 mark of this Royal Rumble in terms of entries. Entry 17, Seth Cole. Entry 21, Jonathan Wong, and our latest entry, entry 24, Johnny Gardner, are all that currently remain. And we have been told that Blaine Keys is getting credited for the eliminations of, being told, Ying Canario, Nathan Stapleton, Nathan Lukac, and I believe there's one other driver that he's being credited for the elimination of. I think it was Trey Wright. Yep, Trey Wright also. So I believe that Blaine Keys currently holds the most eliminations here at 4. Driver with the longest survival of rounds was Jake Smith with 12. Ying Canario with 10, second highest. So in order for Seth Cole to be the longest survivor in the Royal Rumble, he's going to have to survive until entry number 39 hits the track. So basically Seth Cole's got to last till the end in order to set the record here in this race for longest survival. And I believe with Johnny Gardner being entry number 24, no other driver is eligible of being able to break the record with the exception of Seth Cole as we get ready here for our next entry. Entry number 25 going to be the number 94 of Kyle Langland. That's actually another Hendrick car that I had forgotten was in this field. So I think we had 6 Hendrick entries in this field. We still got 1 more to go. And I don't know when he's going to be coming out, but we'll all find out at the same time. Entry number 25, which means we have 15 more entries left to enter into this Royal Rumble. And again, all these drivers' goal, aside from eliminating their competition, is to survive till the completion of segment 40 to make it into that final 10-lap segment shootout for a chance of winning this Royal Rumble. We are guaranteed a brand new Royal Rumble winner. If you're just joining us, our 2 entries that previously won the Royal Rumble, defending winner John Arndt and Daniel Voiles, who won this event in the 4th annual Royal Rumble. Or, I'm sorry, 5th annual Royal Rumble, I should say. They have both already been eliminated, both not getting the luck of the draw. Voiles came in entry number 12. John Arndt came in early entry number 6. Johnny Gardner is actually a team owner, partial team owner of Kyle Langland over in the Pizza Deck series, so even though they're in Fords and Chevys here, gotta wonder if those two might form a little bit of an alliance. 2 Fords, 2 Chevys. Not been a good day to be a Toyota. We've had a couple of them out on track, but they've all been eliminated. Carson Gum, Matt Haas, William Brock, Ace Garcia. Looks like these 4 will survive to the next round, and that'll bring in entry number 26. That'll be the number 26. Wow, ironic. The 26th entry, the number 26 of Kev Shearer. And we mentioned that the number 26 is a former winner of the Royal Rumble event. Chris Jones drove the number 26 to the 2nd Royal Rumble victory. It was a Ford, however, out of Roush Fenway Racing. This is a Chevrolet out of I Have No Clue Racing. 26 is actually a online car of FTF driver Kevin McAdams. Kevin McAdams actually, I think, won the FTF race at Martinsville about a week and a half ago. I don't think it was with this car, though, but regardless. So 3 Chevy Camaros up against 2 Ford Fusions. And, you know, you look at these guys here, they're minding their P's and Q's, they're doing a great job, but you gotta remember, we've still got 14 entries coming up, and the statistics still are not in favor of any of these drivers making it to the 10-lap shootout. Out of all the Royal Rumbles we've run, the earliest entry was back in, I think it was the first Royal Rumble, where the eventual winner came into the Royal Rumble 3 spots from last. Everybody else was either, I think, next to last or the last entry in the Royal Rumble that ended up taking the checkered flag. Looks like these 5 will make it into the next round, though, and they will be joined by entry number 27. That 27th entry going to be the number 4 Busch Beer Ford Fusion out of Stewart Haas Racing, Joseph Romero, joining the fray. With his entry in here, Seth Cole has now made it to, if he completes this round, he'll have made it to 10 rounds. He'll have to make it 3 more rounds to set the record here for longest amount of time in the Royal Rumble. Jake Smith currently holds that with 12 rounds. Ian Canario survived 10 rounds. And Seth Cole right now currently on 9 rounds survived, trying to complete the 10th round here. So that would actually, if he completes this round, he would be tied for 2nd for most rounds survived with Ian Canario. Oh, and there they go! So much for the record. Romero is out, Kev Shearer is out, and Seth Cole is out. So Seth Cole only survives 9 rounds. Kev Shearer is going to give the fans a show in the infield, doing some moonwalking. But Shearer is out, and Joseph Romero did not last long, didn't even survive a full round as he's out. So that leaves us 3, Gardner, Langland, and Wong. And again, much like we've seen here, start piling up the drivers on track, and more of an opportunity for an issue to occur. So Seth Cole will more than likely slot in somewhere in the top 3 for most rounds survived, 3rd place in 9th with 9 rounds, behind Ian Canario with 10 and Jake Smith with 12. And with 3 entries eliminated, that leaves 3 entries that move on and bring in entry number 28. That's going to be the number 22 of Landon Lyons. Now, Landon Lyons, like I said, depending on whether I have this race go up first or the Snickers Cup Series Daytona 500, he would either be making his first or his second start on this channel, as Landon Lyons is also taking part in the Snickers Cup Series Daytona 500, driving the number 20 car. We've also got the Fords all of a sudden back in force here. 22, the 2, and the 38, and the 22 and the 2, both out of the Penske Racing stables. So will they work together? Now, out of these cars, the driver that has been in the longest out of the ones currently active running on track is Jonathan Wong, coming in at entry number 21. He has currently survived 7 rounds. And while this is going on, I am currently in the process of looking to see about the numbers thing. I mean, obviously now we know in terms of Kev Shearer, the 26, number 26 will not win 2 Royal Rumbles. Kev Shearer recently eliminated. Still the question of the 78, though. We haven't seen the 78 car on track yet. Obviously got a good entry number. So a chance, that the number 78 might be able to win the Royal Rumble twice. Not sure if I even want to check and see about the 4th Royal Rumble when Charles Jackson won because it was the GTP mod. I don't know really if that would count in terms of number-wise. But anyway, as these drivers survive, we bring in entry number 29. That'll be the number 11 FedEx Toyota of Cody Lamas. Now, the Toyotas have not fared too well so far here today. So, we're going to have to wait and see what happens in terms of this. Matter of fact, I just looked. Charles Jackson ended up winning the 3rd annual Royal Rumble in that GTP mod, driving the number 16. There is no 16 in this field, so no chance for the 16 car to end up winning the Royal Rumble for a second time. And now I'm going to quickly look and see about both Jackson and Voiles. Jackson in the 4th Royal Rumble and Voiles in the 5th Royal Rumble. White flag display. Let's see if these 5 will survive here. I'm not certain, but I don't quote me on this. Oh, no, don't quote me on this. I was going to say, I think Cody Lamas could very well be the last Toyota to enter this race, but we do have at least one that I can think of, one Toyota that's going to still be entering this race at some point. But I believe that Cody is the lone Joe Gibbs entry that still has a chance of winning this. The other Joe Gibbs cars already out. Matt Haas, Carson Gum, and William Brock. Woo, that was close. Kyle Langland close to the left rear quarter panel of Johnny Gardner, but looks like they're all going to survive. That brings in our 30th entrant. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, getting close to the final 10 drivers, and coming in at entry number 30 is the number 31, Bass Pro Shops Cabela Chevy Camaro of Joshua Sakuli. I think he is the last of the Richard Childress cars. I think the other ones already have been eliminated. Oh, wow. Okay, I just checked. Charles Jackson actually has put the 16 car in victory lane twice here in the Royal Rumble. Both the GTP mod and the 2007 car set of the original Cup the following year. He was in the 16 both times. So we have had one number go to victory lane the Royal Rumble twice. And now I'm going to check and see about the Daniel Boyle situation in just a moment here, as we're going to be finding out momentarily what our next entrant's going to be. As I said, we're entering into the final 10 drivers. And as we get closer and closer to entry 40, the chance for these drivers to make it into that final 10-lap segment is going to get greater and greater. But still, even with 10 drivers coming out here, there's still a long ways to go. And we've got, 6 cars in this lead pack, in this pack right now. So it's still going to be a little bit of a nail-biter on these drivers being able to make it into the next round, because as we continue to build up the field, there's going to be more and more opportunities for eliminations. As in comes entry number 31. It'll be the number 12 Duracell Ford Fusion out of Penske Racing, Julius Anderson. And now we have 3 Penske cars that are currently on track. Okay, I just looked at as far as Daniel Voiles is concerned. Daniel Voiles won the 5th Royal Rumble in the number 93 Toyota. So I do believe, barring the number 78, no other car is in this field that's going to be able to put a previous winning number in the Royal Rumble victory lane. The only other opportunity that there really was Kev Shearer, possibly putting the 26 in victory lane for the second time in Royal Rumble history. So we're waiting on the 78 to see if he can join the 16 as a 2-time winning number in the Royal Rumble event. Focused here on the 38 of Jonathan Wong. He's done a pretty good job. Jonathan Wong came in entry number 21. We're now on entry number 31. So he has completed 10 segments, which right now ties him for second most in this race with Yincana Rio. Jake Smith currently has the highest with 12 survived rounds after coming in at entry number 1. Oh, look at this right here. Lyons, Gardner, Lamas, all up each other's left rear quarter panels, and somehow they didn't wreck each other. You talk to these drivers, there's a fine art between eliminating a driver and not eliminating yourself in the process, and a lot of drivers, see, they still haven't mastered it. As entry number 32 comes in, it's the number 8. Wounded Warrior Project Chevy Camaro, Rob Evans. Now, this is going to be some interesting experience for Rob Evans. Evans was announced is going to be driving in the Pizza Hut X Series, I think, next season for Gardner Racing. And I think this is his first start, at least to my knowledge, on this channel. Although, actually, if I recall correctly, he's taking part in the NNSCRA Hunt Brothers ARCA series that James Qualls is running, so actually this wouldn't be his first start on the channel. We've got 8 cars in this pack, though. You gotta think someone's gonna get eliminated this round, and as soon as I say that, Kyle Langland eliminates Rob Evans. So the 8 and the 94 are out, and now if they want to, they can try and eliminate the others behind them. They're out of this event, and oh boy, we may have more eliminations here. They're 4 wide. Lamas, Gardner, Anderson, and Lyons. Look at the 31 of Sakuli all up the gearbox of the 2 car. Oh, this ain't gonna end well. Oh boy. Here, Johnny Gardner. He's gonna get into Rob Evans. There goes Cody Lamas. He's out. Oh, the 12 of Anderson, the 2 of Gardner sliding down there. Anderson is out. Gardner is still in. I don't think he went completely across the line. Lamas is out, though. There you see Lamas out. Rob Evans out for a second time. Can you be eliminated twice in a Royal Rumble? I think the 22 of Landon Lyons is still okay. And watching the 2 of Gardner... watch that right rear. Yeah, he never went down below the double yellow line, so good job for Johnny Gardner. So I believe that Rob Evans, Kyle Langland, Cody Lamas, and Julius Anderson all are out, but the others survive. So Cooley, Gardner, along with Jonathan Wong, they're all going to survive. Along with Landon Lyons. Oh, Cody Lamas is still in, apparently. I thought Cody Lamas was out. Well, I guess not. I guess they scored that Cody Lamas was still in. It looked like he was out to me. But he survives the next round, apparently, does the 11. And that brings in entry number 33, the 41 of Vince Almariego. Again, much like I was saying with Landon Lyons, depending on the timing of which video gets uploaded first, Vince Almariego could be making his first or his second start. At least of a race that I've commentated. I think Vince is actually also in the Hunt Brothers Pizza ARCA series. Great series, you gotta want to check that out. Oh, Landon Lyons into the wall, and now Cody's eliminated. And Almariego is out. Well, he didn't last long. Cody Lamas is definitely out this time. See it right there, Jonathan Wong into Landon Lyons, and boy, the 38 and the 22 did a heck of a job again, both saving it from going down below the yellow line, but Cody Lamas definitely out this time. They did get that footage, so Lamas is out, and so too is Vince Almariego, only surviving not even 1 round. Look at Cody Lamas. I think he wants to eliminate the 22. Landon Lyons is still in, but if he gets spun down below that double yellow line by the eliminated car of Cody Lamas, he would be out. And we should mention as well, Jonathan Wong keeping his streak alive with that save and being able to keep himself in bounds. At the completion of this round, Jonathan Wong will have surpassed Jake Smith for longest amount of rounds in the Royal Rumble at 13. Landon Lyons comes to the line. Jonathan Wong comes to the line. They survive. And Vince Almariego is out. So in comes entry number 34, and I believe it's the final Hendrick Motorsports entry, James Richardson in the number 5. 6 more entries remain after this, and then our 10-lap shootout. Jonathan Wong, with that green flag in the air, is now the longest surviving driver in this year's Royal Rumble. We'll have to wait and see if he makes it to the end, however. Both he and Landon Lyons have been putting on quite a show of surviving. Landon Lyons, I believe the last 2 segments pretty much should have been eliminated, but has been able to survive, and I think a big attribution to that is the fact we have that outside wall here this year. I think that's been a bit of a saving grace for the 22 the last couple of rounds that's kept him in so far. Joshua Sekuli on the back bumper of Richardson, trying to maybe eliminate a fellow Chevy Camaro, and then there's 3 Ford Fusions behind them. Johnny Gardner's been in since entry 24, so he's actually about to, after the completion of this, make it to 10 rounds of surviving, so nice job for him. And it looks like these drivers are going to give each other some pretty good room, so I don't think that these guys are in any way going to wreck before they get to the start-finish line, and that means that we will go from 5 to a 6-car pack. I've been actually rather surprised that we haven't had, like, big-time multi-car eliminations in these last couple of rounds. It's been just basically 1-2 drivers in the last few rounds. That might change, though, as in comes the number 70 at entry number 35 from Joanna Atwood Motorsports, James Qualls. Great starting entry for Qualls. See what he can do here in that Camaro. I'm looking at the list, and there's at least 2 names that I see that have not yet gotten on track, and could make it very, very interesting. Jonathan Wong right on the left rear quarter panel there for a brief moment on Johnny Gardner. Jonathan Wong continuing to survive. Came in entry number 21. He has now survived 14 rounds. And if he manages to make it to the checkered flag here, it will be 15 rounds that he has survived. In the middle of a 3 wide here, though, with Johnny Gardner and Landon Lyons, though. Looked a little hairy through 1 and 2. James Qualls trying to keep all of that mayhem behind him. We've seen drivers utilize a lot of different areas of this track for elimination. We've seen them use the back straightaway. We've seen them use the turns. I don't think we've really seen the front straightaway used yet. But that's kind of a hard place to do it, especially with it being a kind of a hooked, D-shaped front straightaway with that kind of final corner here, kind of like a Daytona front straightaway right here. Because it's a pretty spacious area, so everybody kind of fans out. More than likely realizing they're coming to a checkered flag and they're going to survive for the next round. As in comes entry number 36, and it's the number 78 I was talking about. Trying to get the 78 its second Royal Rumble victory, and that is the number 78 Bass Pro Shops Toyota Camry out of Furniture Row Racing, piloted by Levi McIntyre. So we're starting to see some big names pop up here near the end as well. McIntyre coming in entry number 36. If McIntyre ends up winning the thing, then it would be the earliest entry to actually win the Royal Rumble, and of course everybody else that's still running right now, if they survive and win, they would also take that moniker. And Jonathan Wong has survived 15 rounds in this Royal Rumble. I would definitely look at that 38 to maybe make it to the end. It's only got, what, 4 more rounds to make? But then again, you look at the field and you've got 7 cars in this lead pack. If we get to 8 cars in the lead pack, I think you can guarantee there's going to be an elimination if we don't end up getting one here on the final lap of this segment. Although Jonathan Wong's in a good spot right now. He's out in front. Will these drivers be willing to mind their P's and Q's as we get ever closer to the final segment of this race? I mean, what's the mentality for these drivers? Ooh, little contact there between Richardson and Qualls. Qualls saved it, though. But, I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to risk eliminating yourself and try and take out competition that you would have to face off against in the final segment? Or do you decide to be buddy-buddy and say, hey, let's settle it out when we get to the final segment? I don't know. Some drivers are conservatively aggressive, some drivers are conservative, some drivers are aggressive, as now in comes entry number 37. It's going to be the number 42 Credit One Bank Chevy Camaro out of Ganassi Racing, piloted by Angel Olvera. And we know that Angel Olvera has been having a very nice season in the Tax Slayer Truck Series. So we'll see what Angel's able to do here. You know, the other Ganassi car that was in this field was Blaine Keys. We saw Blaine Keys get eliminated earlier on, although I believe Blaine Keys holds the record for most eliminations here in this Royal Rumble at 4. Ooh, Angel Olvera. Little contact there with McIntyre into Gardner. There's a shoving match going on between Olvera and Gardner. That was interesting. A little bit of push and shove down the back straightaway. And you can see the right side damage on the 42 as a result of that. Oh boy. I don't like the look of the way that they're, you know, you kind of get an atmosphere sometimes in a pack of race cars, and with 1 lap left in this segment, there is definitely an atmosphere down there. I don't like it. Someone's getting eliminated here. You can get the feeling. I mean, if they can make it with 8 cars and put 9 cars on track for the next segment, I will be absolutely shocked and absolutely impressed. So far, we've only had 8 cars, highest total in a segment. Can we end up having 9? Turns 3 and 4 is probably going to determine that. Will they give each other enough room? Will they lay off each other's left rears? Ooh, McIntyre looked like he was getting close to Angel Olvera's left rear there at the tail end of the pack, and I think they're going to make it. Wow. Who would have thought that this late in the Royal Rumble we're going to make yet another historical mark in this event? And we will have 9 cars in a pack here, bringing in entry number 38, the number 21 Ford Motorcraft Ford Fusion out of Wood Brothers Racing, Diego Yepes. This is probably not going to make it to 10 cars. I will be shocked if we make it to 10 cars in the next segment. Bank on some eliminations here, no pun intended, as we're looking at the 42 Credit One Bank Chevy, all over the back bumper of James Qualls. And Jonathan Wong is still in this. Ooh, look out! Ooh, there was some contact there. A little bump by Diego Yepes into James Richardson. Hang on to it, though. But Wong came in entry 21. He's now survived 17 rounds. 18 if he makes it to the end of this one. And somehow, how have we not had an elimination? You just hear that I am utterly speechless. I can't even formulate words. Will we see an elimination here on this final lap? Oh, there we go. Look at the 22. Look at the 22. Oh, he almost got to the left rear quarter panel of the 78. I thought he was going to eliminate McIntyre, but he didn't. McIntyre, I think, realized that and moved up the track to get away from the 22 car. And are you kidding me? Are we seriously going to make it to 10 cars in a pack? Oh, not if the 22 has anything to say about it. He just switched 3 lanes there. Oh, look up topside. 78 and 2. No. They gave each other some room. You have got to be kidding me. How in the world is this working? We're going to end up having 10 cars in a pack here with the addition of entry number 39. Maybe not. Whoa, Sakuli! Trying to door bang the 22 out of the way, and coming in entry number 39 is the number 72 of Patrick Smith. 1 entry remains, but who's going to be left to battle with that final entry? 10 cars on track here with the addition of entry 39 of Patrick Smith. There is no way, there cannot be any way that there's not going to be an elimination here with 10 cars on track. I mean, I said that with 8 and 9 cars on track, and somehow they managed to make it. Like trying to find a area where the storm is brewing. Oh, 72, close to the rear quarter panel of the 31. They settle it out. Don't tell me. do not tell me we are going to end up having 11 cars in our final 2-lap segment. 3 wide coming to the line. Oh, nope, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. Watch the 5. 5 gets eliminated by the 38. Jonathan Wong eliminates himself as well. And now he's going to take out more along with Richardson. McIntyre up into the wall. Oh, boy, we got to watch for who's going to get eliminated here. 78 is out. 5 is out. 22 is out. 38 is out. 31, 42. Who's that back there? The 2 also eliminated. So who does that leave? We got the 72, I think, still on track. The 21 and the 27. I think the 21 and the 70 rather. And I think those 2 are in question. Other than that, I think everybody else has been eliminated with the exception of the 72. Look at here, watching the 5. He's already eliminated. So he says, I'm going to take some others with me. Keeps his foot in the throttle. 72's coming to pit road. 72 just eliminated himself coming to pit road. So Patrick Smith is out. I don't know if you saw that top of your screen. I don't know about James Qualls in the 70. We're going to have to follow the 70 because I think he's a question mark. 21 of Diego Yepes. You see him bottom of the screen. He stays up high. I think he's still in. Yeah, Diego Yepes is still in. Let's look here and see the 70 of Qualls. Does he cross over the double yellow line? Not yet. There's a shot from the 72 of Smith. We know Yepes is still in. If Qualls is still in, then Qualls is going to make it to the next round. If he's out, then Diego Yepes will be one-on-one with entry 40, and right there, Qualls crosses over the double yellow line. So Diego Yepes is the only one who survives out of 10 cars in that pack. It's time to bring in the final entry, entry number 40. Who is it that Diego Yepes is going to battle here in the final segment? And it's going to be the number 43. Clicking, I think it's clicking close, clicking something. Chevy Camaro out of Richard Petty Motorsports. Click and close, that's what it's called, the sponsorship. And it's Austin LaPlante in the 43. And remember what I said about earliest entry to win a Royal Rumble event was entry 37 of 40? Well, Diego Yepes came in entry number 38. LaPlante comes in entry number 40, so we will not set a record here today with the earliest entry winning the Royal Rumble. That still will go to Aaron Williams at entry number 37 of 40 back in the first Royal Rumble. But it's going to come down between 2 iconic numbers here. We mentioned before, with the elimination of Daniel Voiles and John Arndt, we are guaranteed a brand new Royal Rumble winner. Looks like it's going to be either Diego Yepes or Austin LaPlante that are going to take this season's Royal Rumble. And how ironic, you can't script this, but how ironic if these 2 do survive to the checkered flag here of this segment for the 10-lap shootout. 2 iconic numbers are going to duel it out, the number 21 and the number 43. You can't script this stuff. And I do believe that we end up having a new record set for James Richardson, eliminating a total of 7 drivers. No, 6. 6 drivers we're being told in that last segment. Responsible for the eliminations of Johnny Gardner, trying to go down the list and see who else was collected up in that. Landon Lyons. I believe Joshua Sakuli was eliminated in that. Jonathan Wong eliminated himself, so he's not counting that. Angel Olvera was eliminated in that, as we are beginning our 10-lap segment now. So whoever crosses the line first in this 10-lap segment is going to be the winner of the Royal Rumble, as I'm trying to go down the list of the other drivers that were eliminated, courtesy of James Richardson, James Qualls, and Levi McIntyre. So 6 drivers in total, like I thought, were eliminated by James Richardson. So we've already had some records set here tonight. Richardson with the most eliminations of 6. Jonathan Wong with the most survival of rounds. That ended at, I believe the total was 18 rounds. He survived. And now the battle between LaPlante and Diego Yepes. And this is going to be a very interesting battle too, with it being a mano-a-mano one-on-one, because of the fact that most of the time when you come to a super speedway, you need to have a drafting partner to help you out. These guys may end up finding themselves side by side for a good portion of this 10-lap shootout. Austin LaPlante, been on this channel a long time. Diego Yepes kind of made his debut, if you will, at the start of the season in the Tax Slayer Truck Series Season 1, and then moved up to the Pizza Deck Series in Season 4. But again, two iconic numbers here, the 21 and the 43. And both, for the first time, depending on who ends up winning this race, will have their number getting its first win in Royal Rumble history. Also for both of them, it'd be their first win in the Royal Rumble as well. Question is, who wants it more? Now, bear in mind that this is basically a 10-lap race. Royal Rumble rules do not apply anymore. However, anything goes. So right now, as you see the 43 on the back bumper of the 21, if LaPlante wants to try and hook Diego Yepes, spin him around, and then drive away with the win, he is completely at leisure to do so. Although I'm not really certain he's going to be able to do that, because we saw early on in the thing, before the field started to build up with 5, 6, 7 cars, when we had like 2, 3, 4 cars on track, there really wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for drivers to be able to get to each other's left rears and eliminate each other. Gotta think too that these drivers, they kind of strategize this race based off their starting positions from the end of the race backwards, trying to figure out where do I need to be, when do I need to make the move in order to make sure I get to the line first. I mean, you saw that last time by, LaPlante got Yepes at the line by 3/100ths of a second. Now clears the 21, and now the 21 has to strategize when he makes the move. Looks like he's going to make it very quickly back to the inside line, going down here into turn 3. I think probably it's going to come down to, in terms of positioning, who ends up being in the who ends up being in the second position when they come out of turn 2, possibly. Coming to the line, it'll be 6 laps to go here. And to be honest, I'm not really sure if maybe one of these guys, whoever's out in front, might want to try doing a little bit of practicing of blocking. I mean, I know it's kind of a risk-reward, because if you try blocking, there's every likelihood that the driver behind you is not going to lift, and you could get hooked off his bumper, get spun out, and you're basically throwing away the win here in the Royal Rumble. But the way that we're seeing here, where the door gets opened down low, we're seeing right here LaPlante the inside of Yepes. And by the time they get down here to the start-finish line, you notice which line it is that gets to the start-finish line first. It's that inside line by about half a car length. So if you're coming to the white flag and someone's going to try and make a move on your inside, I would think that you'd, you know, in order to win the Royal Rumble, want to try and throw a block. Because we're seeing right here, if someone gets to your inside coming down to the entrance of turn 3, that inside line is going to prevail. Let's see what happens this time as Yepes goes to the inside. About the same spot that LaPlante went to the inside the last lap. Let's see if the 21 ends up beating the 43 back to the start-finish line on this lap. Oh yeah, he's definitely going to. He may clear the 43 out of turn 4. And he does. Moves up right in front of him. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a risk-reward, but it's just 2 drivers. It's mano-a-mano. One of you is going to win the Royal Rumble. I would do everything in my power possible to try and make sure, especially when you get to the final lap, that you're going to keep that car behind you. Let's see what LaPlante does here. Is he going to step out of line? It's been kind of a bit of deja vu. One driver going underneath the other on the back straightaway. This time LaPlante goes up to the top side. And he's going to lose ground to Yepes as a result, but that might have actually been some strategy there on the part of the 43, because it's going to allow him to get a better suck up and be able to allow him to do a better slingshot. Although I think the slingshot move is going to probably be down here in turn 1. Because he had that gap coming off turn 4. And now he's right up on the back bumper of the 21. So much for that slingshot. Might be just testing the waters here. He's right up on the back bumper of that Ford, so he'll be able to do a slingshot here in the back straightaway if he so chooses. Instead, decides to ride in line there. Now he goes to the inside. For a moment, I was wondering if maybe LaPlante was thinking about riding behind the 21 until the last lap. Because, in my opinion, based on what I'm seeing with these drivers being able to make that move there on the back straightaway and that inside line prevailing coming to the start-finish line, you want to be in second place coming to the white flag, I would think. Here you see again. After LaPlante made the move on the back straightaway by half a car length on an inside line, he ends up getting to the stripe first. 2 laps to go, and now Diego Yepes falls into that second position. Let's see if he's going to try a crossover move here on the back straightaway, or is he going to do what I was suspecting, maybe stay in second place? Nope, he's going to the inside. And he will get to the inside, so now LaPlante, if you're that 43, you want to be in second place hitting the back straightaway next time, because the white flag will be displayed to these 2 drivers, and LaPlante's going to make the move already here in the tri-oval. I'm not sure that was smart. Drag race to the line, coming to the white flag. Outside line for the first time prevails, but that's only because LaPlante made the move there in the tri-oval. Wasn't a move in turn 4, and now, oh boy, I highly question that move LaPlante made, because that puts the 21 in second place down this back straightaway. Is Yepes going to make the move to the inside? If he does, I don't see how LaPlante's going to be able to hold him off. Here he goes to the inside. LaPlante did not go down to throw the block. 21 is the left rear quarter panel, and they'll take this into turn 3 and 4. We've seen it already here. I don't see how LaPlante's going to be able to battle back on the top side against Yepes. I think Yepes may have him cleared. Nope. LaPlante tries to battle back. He's got to go down there on the side door and try and get the side draft, but he's not doing it. Diego Yepes is going to become the 5th different winner of the Royal Rumble as he wins the 7th annual Royal Rumble here at Talladega. Joining the names of Aaron Williams, Daniel Voiles, John Arndt, Charles Jackson, and Chris Jones, and I believe becomes the 2nd Ford. Nope, 3rd Ford to win the Royal Rumble. The other 2, Chris Jones and Charles Jackson. And Diego Yepes came into this one at, I believe, entry number 39. And, nope, 38. And he will take the Royal Rumble. Great battle there between 2 iconic numbers, the 43 and the 21. And what a race. Diego Yepes, the Wood Brothers Ford Fusion, is going to take the checkered flag here and now is a NNSCRA Royal Rumble winner. What a great event. Glad to be able to do this again. It's been a long time since I've done a Royal Rumble event, and really excited that I was able to bring that back and do it again. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this Royal Rumble. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of the stuff that comes out here today on the 7th anniversary of this channel debut on YouTube. Once again, guys, thanks for watching this, and again, after 7 years, thank you for all the support you have given to this channel. Looking forward to the future stuff I'm able to bring out here for you guys, and like I've said before, and I will say it again, it's because of the support that you guys give this channel, the reason that it is still going on, and the reason I still enjoy doing what I'm doing. But anyway, we will see you guys next time, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.